Hello everyone, I have chosen BC's redesigned curriculum as an artifact to represent leadership and school improvement. I chose it because I thought it was a great example, but I found out that it's even more than that. While studying it, I realized that it contains many ideas and concepts we have discussed in class, and I'm really happy to share some of them because I think this is really great to see what we have discussed in an actual real life example that's happening right now. I also wanted to have some music on the background, but I couldn't hear myself when I did that, so I will go ahead and do the presentation without music. So what I'm going to cover in my presentation is a quick overview of the BC curriculum, some major highlights of it, and the way it's connected to some of the articles and concepts and ideas we discussed in class. What I'm not going to cover, although that would have been a pretty good part of the presentation, is a criticism of the curriculum and some details from both the curriculum and articles, because I found so many of them that are related and that would be a good part of the presentation, but it would just take too much time. At the heart of British Columbia's redesigned curriculum are three major components. The first one is essential learning. It's about the learning standards and big ideas for each area of learning that identify what is essential, what students are expected to know, be able to do, and understand at each grade. The next one is literacy and numeracy foundations. They are fundamental requirements for full social and economic participations of any person in today's world. And the third one, which is very significant, is the core competencies. They are at the center of the curriculum at the moment. So they include thinking competency, personal and social competency, and communication. So thinking competency encompasses the knowledge, skills, and processes we associate with intellectual development. It is through their competency as thinkers that students take subject-specific concepts and transform them into the new understandings. Personal and social competency is a set of abilities that relate to students' identity in the world, both as individuals and as members of their community and society. So this competency encompasses the abilities students need to thrive as individuals, to understand and care about themselves and others, and to find and achieve their purposes in the world. And communication competency encompasses the set of abilities that students use to impart and exchange information, experiences, and ideas to explore the world around them and to understand and effectively engage in the use of digital media. The curriculum model consists of three elements, which is content, curricular competencies, and big ideas. Content is about what students are expected to know. Content learning standards detail the essential topics and knowledge at each grade level. Curricular competencies is about what students are expected to do. And they are skills, strategies, and processes that students develop over time. And they are more subject-specific, but they also connect to the core competencies. And big ideas is what students are expected to understand. They are generalizations and principles and the key concepts important in an area of learning, and they are intended to endure beyond a single grade and contribute to future understanding. The first person I thought of when I was choosing the artifact, even before going into details, was Fulham, because this is a big project, it's province-wide, and it's a great example of the system-wide change. Generally speaking, the project has already implemented many of the change stance components, although not all of them, but I want to highlight the moral imperative of this new framework of approaching education, which in this case is honoring the ways in which students think, learn and grow, and preparing them for successful lifetime of learning where ongoing change is constant. At the moment, the project is in the implementation stance, and the curriculum is going to be fully implemented in September 2016 of this school year, and hopefully schools will approach this transition with skinny plans. Okay, conceptually, I found many ideas in the new curriculum that echo those put by Noddings in 1992. To be more specific, she talked about the student-oriented curriculum, and now in 2016 it's finally here. It's not as bold as she claims it should be, but it is concept-driven and it's learner-centered, with a huge emphasis on personalized learning. And to some degree, it has relaxed the impulse to control the classrooms by giving more flexibility to teachers um, to be innovative in classrooms and to focus on approaching each student individually, adjusting the classrooms to their ways of thinking and learning. There is less emphasis on memorization, and moreover, the theme of care is being incorporated into the personal and social competency, which is a core competency according to the curriculum. And according to this idea, students should develop abilities to understand and care about themselves and about others, including environment. And the theme of environment and ecological justice has been incorporated and represented in this curriculum more vigorously than in previous. The last major highlight of the curriculum is the integration of Aboriginal perspectives and knowledge throughout all grades. The curriculum acknowledges that Aboriginal perspectives and knowledge are the part of the historical and contemporary foundation of BC and Canada. The goal of the integration is to ensure that all learners have the opportunity to understand and respect their own cultural heritage as well as others. This part of the curriculum intends to fix issues that are discussed in the articles by James and Barman about formation of cultural identity and individual identity of students and schooling for inequality. References to Aboriginal knowledge and worldviews are both explicit and implicit, and are evident in the rational statements, goals, and learning standards, and in some of the elaborations. One of the examples of such an integration is that Aboriginal knowledge of the sky and landscape and lifestyles are going to be incorporated into the science of subject. This is a big part of the curriculum, and it deserves to be even bigger. Here are some of my references, and I've taken all of the information about the curriculum from the BC Ministry of Education website that's dedicated specifically to this huge project. There are many resources both for people who want to learn about the curriculum and for teachers as well. To sum up, the new curriculum is a good example of leadership for school improvement as discussed in class, because it acknowledges and intends to implement ideas that go against the conventional education principles and practices that are a bit outdated and are not inclusive and do not always work for everybody. So it provides a great opportunity for teachers and students to make education meaningful, interesting, and useful. There are many ways to fail, of course, but there are also many ways to succeed by using this new conceptual framework. With the right support, it has a great potential, and I'm looking forward to how it will be implemented and to see what results would it bring about. So this is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention. See you in class.